Hello, everybody. Good to see you, Joina. Hi, Frank Kid. BDJ. See some new names here also. Hi, Mara. Gaming Madness. I'm sorry, Gaming Madness. I'm not sure what you need help with. You can always go to our Discord channel if you need some assistance. You can actually pull that link up for you real quick. You can go to sandbox.game and go to the little Discord link in the corner. There are lots of people on our Discord server who are very knowledgeable about VoxEdit and the Sandbox. Hi, airdrop. I'm guessing everybody can hear me today. We started off with the working sound. All right, so what's going on with news? We have got the moon sale still going on. There's 2 more sales left. The last one was a couple days ago, and good morning. And it's sold out in 3 minutes, just like all the other ones. So you really got to make sure you're there before it starts, or it's going to be over before you get a chance to click on anything. The next one is June 30th, which is 3 days, and it's another one of the 1,400 plots. Get serious playback issues. I do see that I have some dropped frames, but that was from before I started. Is it still choppy? So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Morning, Necrobomb. Let's see. What's up with my settings here? It says that my stream should be smooth now. I'm not running anything else, so I don't know why I'd be having issues with the frame rate. Maybe try refreshing the page. Might do the trick. So yeah, 2 more sales left, June 30th and July 2nd. And we're on to another regular pre-sale later on, which might have a 20% discount. Hello, voice. All right, and let's take a look at the contest that's going on. So I'm going to put this link in here. I think that should take you right to it. We've got some solutions. I'm actually going to refresh the page in case anything new showed up. So the current leaders are Dark Side's Skeleton Warrior, Mr. Gold's The Walker, and Willie's Portal. And it's funny, we've actually got a couple different. Willie also has a zombie, this beautiful guy. Sandy has a portal also. We've got a Shrek Knight. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Choina. I think everybody else has seen it all right. Good luck with the refresh. I'll see you when you're back. Is there a set date on when the new contests come out? It's usually every other week. So this one started. Did this one start? This one went the 22nd to the and is going to the 29th. So it's 2 more days to vote. So if you click down there, and it's the 29th. So the next one should be starting the 13th. So it goes a week of the contest running, then there's a week off for the previous contest stuff to get uploaded to the marketplace. Everybody get their prizes, staff to figure out what the new contest is going to be, and then a week after that one ends. I guess it would start on the 6th. Sorry, not the 13th. It would start on the 6th. So it ends on the 29th. There's the week off, and then it starts on the 6th. At least that's the current plan. These plans can change. So I would just make sure you keep an eye on the official Sandbox Twitter, which I believe is just at the Sandbox. Might be at the Sandbox game. Let's see. Yeah, it's the Sandbox game. Twitter. So keep an eye on that for contests or just check on the forum. So the new contest should be announced the 6th. Right? That's correct. All right. So let's take a look at the rest of these entries real quick. We've got. Whoop, sorry. I forgot to Twitter. Loading. Where am I going here? Enter or vote. It's navigating too fast. All right. So we've got these ones which we looked at. We've got another portal by Sandy. We've got the Shrek Knight by Cobalt Voxel. We've got another Skeleton Soldier by Hermigio. And a bunch of these guys are actually in our creator fund. So these are artists who have joined us. Some of them are just in the past month. We've got Vodka Shrek Knight by Sissipe. That's pretty hilarious. He's doing a little Russian dance there, squat dance. We've got Witch Queen by Blastar. Cool little animation. I don't know if this was built on the human template or not, but it's definitely been modified. So it's got some custom animations going in there. We've got a Skull Dark Knight by Damon. And that does not appear to be an entry, so I don't think that's going to get any votes. I'm not sure if we can just remove that. I think that's not qualified because it's not voxel art. So yeah, make sure you remember to go and vote. Voting should be open for the general users. Is there a timeline? I know we changed the rules a little bit. Oh, and this got updated too. These are bigger on display. They used to be really small icons. They should have posted. You can see them a lot better. I think it doesn't give specific dates on here, but I think the general voting is open now, so anybody with an account on the Sandbox forum, which anybody can do by clicking the sign up button up here, go ahead and vote and enter if you've got something to share. All right, so let's get out of that stuff. Hello, Chosen. Chosen, I think you won a sand fountain last on Wednesday. I tried messaging you Twitch, and I didn't see if you replied on Wednesday. Make sure if you're on our Discord, message me. You can direct message me after the stream. I'll be on the Whispers on Twitch, so make sure you message me back your NFT wallet address so I can send you your prize from last time. Oh, which speaking of which, we need to start the prize. So let's see. We're gonna start giveaway. Discord is all go. Cool. All right. Yeah. So DM me that wallet, and I will get that over to you after. So exclamation point fountain in the chat to win an NFT fountain. We're starting to run a little bit low on those, so I am actually going to be talking with some of the other staff about doing a new NFT prize, maybe something that is stream exclusive. So let me know in the chat if you're excited about that. I'm thinking maybe we could do Wizzy as a stream exclusive NFT. So only people who are watching the stream and entering the giveaways will have the chance to win a Wizzy. That sounds really bad when I say it that way. And Voice Ambition, you do need to go to twitch.tv/thesandboxgame. I will type that in the chat. the giveaway tool that we have only works on one Twitch account at a time. So we're streaming to 2 Twitch accounts, 3 Facebook accounts, 2 YouTube accounts, and a Periscope account all at once. But we don't have a giveaway tool that can do all of them at once. So we just have the Twitch giveaway. Why does it take so long to? Hopefully this isn't going to give me any issues. We'll leave it for just a minute, and we can chat. So yeah, I'm thinking the wizard that we made on stream here together, collaboratively picking colors and things like that. Thinking that we could make that maybe a rare NFT and do that as a giveaway on stream. I think that would be a pretty cool prize for people who watch that. The fountain was part of the second pre-sale, so there's a bunch of people who already had it before I even started doing these streams. So I think things that we make on stream would be a cool little prize for all of you viewers. And what is going on with the game maker? I had it up earlier, but I think with everything running at once, I was dropping my frame rate before the stream got started. So we will try that again. If this doesn't work, maybe we'll make some more stuff in VoxEdit, so that should be just fine. Last try. Fingers crossed. Hope everybody was having a good week this week. I had a pretty good week. Busy, but exciting stuff happening. What is going on? I'm really hoping that something didn't happen to our grassland level. That would be so fun if we had to. I guess we didn't build that much stuff on it, but we did set up that fisherman and that hovel last week. We'd have to do all that again. Come on. All right, I'm not sure what's going on with the game maker here. It's not liking this. So, how about we make something to VoxEdit? All right, sounds good. Is your name already up in there from before, or did it? I started the giveaway after you switched it. That's hi JJ. Yeah, so there's a few things to keep in mind for making stuff in the game maker. Um, I guess we could make something. We'll make something new in the game maker for today. And I'll see if I can work with staff on figuring out why this level won't work. And if it's not something I can recover, I'll try to recreate it before the next stream, so we can continue where we left off. Something might have corrupted the file. So some things to keep in mind when you're working in the game maker. Just focus. GT. Fantasy grassland. So something to keep in mind is that things like plants, so like grass, specifically grass, will have the plant behavior, and that if you have too much foliage on your level, all those plants are going to be using up CPU cycles. So I can actually show you real quickly what I'm talking about. This library loads up here. There we go. So we're gonna go to grass, and so you see it's got the plant behavior on there. So we put these down. Every single one of these. Awesome, Join. I'm glad YouTube's working for you there. Um, each one of these is going to start using a little bit of CPU power to use this plant behavior. So if you have a, say, a farmer um, who's supposed to be roaming around and looking for plants, he's going to be constantly. Oop, I forgot to put an avatar, so put one in there for me. Um, he's going to be looking for plants. So he just disappeared. Uh, all of those plants are adding on to how much CPU is being used by them. So if you have like 500 grass plants, you've got 500 of these little plants like screaming out, like, I'm here, come pick me up off the ground. And then you've got the farmers and the herbivores like going to them. So if you want the plant behavior, that's fine because you might want to have um, a ecosystem where you've got plants being eaten by animals. Yeah, you would want to switch it to none. And this is so rotated. Yeah. Uh, there we go. So you would want to set it to none. And you also you want to turn off collisions because with collisions on, it's kind of silly. Um, because you get stopped by the grass. You can't walk the grass. So there's a couple different. Oops, I didn't need to punch the farmer. He walked into it. So there's a couple different things you can do to make the grass a little less CPU intensive. Um, some things that I do is I take the health off because it's kind of silly if you accidentally punch the grass. So you can take the that component off, and then if you take the plant behavior off and set it to none, then it's going to be less of a drag on your processor. And you also want to turn collisions off. And now you can walk through it normally. You can't punch it, and it's gonna run smoother. So it looks totally fine to be standing in grass like this. It's pretty normal to be able to walk through grass. It's pretty not normal to punch it, so you can't do that. And yeah, it works nicer that way as long as you're using it as a decoration. So you might want to have like a farming simulator or be able to have an ecosystem with animals and plants. They might respawn and they'll eat each other. Well, the animals will eat the plants, not the other way around. But other animals might eat other animals. So you set up that ecosystem. Um, but in that case, you probably don't want to be having like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of grass. You're gonna want, you know, more specific like areas for animals to forage in. You're not going to want to cover all of this in green grass. Um, and you might have noticed that I was duplicating that. So if you've made changes to the plant, because when you make these changes, they're not going to save on the brush. So you got your no collision, no behavior, no component, and then short, yeah, short press. Excuse me, short press. What's going on there? I don't know what's going on there. So if I plant it again, it's got collisions, plant behavior, and health. So we want to get rid of all that. So you duplicate, and now the duplicate has no collisions, no behavior. That way you get the same thing over and over. So you can drag select a few times like that, make a little patch, and we can even make some varieties. So if you press R, you can replace it and change it for a different one. So lush grass for this one, and go for yellow grass. This one, go for dense grass. That one, Trophy Dolphin asks, "Will you be able to make turn-based multiplayer games in the sandbox?" Possibly, not yet. There's no turn-based mechanics at this time, and turn-based requires like a lot of timing kind of stuff. Um, so we don't have those features in yet. Ultimately, the goal of the sandbox is to make any kind of game you want. So if you want to make a first-person shooter, if you want to make a strategy game, if you want to make an RPG or a platformer, uh, we want all of those to be possible, and we want you to be able to do varieties on them, like first person or third person could be a battle royale, it could be capture the flag. Your strategy games could be turn-based, or it could be action, or I guess I've never heard of an action strategy game. I guess it'd be turn based or real time. Um, Real time would be the action. Um, if you wanted to do an RPG, you could do a turn based battle RPG, or you could do an action RPG. So things like that. We want all of those to be possibilities. Um, but since we're in alpha for the game maker right now, there's still a lot more features that have to get added. So we'll see those develop over the course of the year and continue to go from there. All right, so we've got our varied patch here. I'm actually gonna duplicate out some of these because I like the big ones, and we're going to shuffle them a little so it's more organic, less grid-like feeling. Will the sandbox be releasing its own games on its land for launch? I'm not entirely sure about that. I think in part, yes, most likely. I don't think there's any other staff on right now, at least not that I've seen. So I don't know what the plan is for those specifically. I know that we on the staff we are working um, with the partners. So like Atari and Shaun the Sheep. Uh, the sandbox is as a company is closely involved with the development of that stuff, um, and we are also providing direct support to people in the game maker fund. So some of those lands that you see as reserved for sandbox might end up being part of the game maker fund's properties. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the plan is for that. I know there's other staff besides me working on these things, and I don't necessarily. I've got all my own things going on, so I'm not sure what all they're doing. That's a good question. That would be. I would say save that question for the AMA the next time there's an Ask Me Anything with Sebastian, because that's a good one that I haven't heard before. Um, yeah. So once we've selected all of these, we can hit the T key, and they spin around randomly. So we don't have everything lined up nice and straight to a grid. Sir, have you met Yatsui Siu? And how involved is he? I don't know if I've met Yatsiu. I have met a lot of people here, but they sometimes go by screen names, so I don't actually know. That name specifically doesn't sound familiar to me. It would be cool if the sandbox made its own IP with characters and they could be used for the promotion and branding. So there is a little bit of that. Um, Everything you see here now is part of that. Let's see. So the Space Hero is somebody that we've been using in marketing for a long time, like since I started almost, I think. One of the earliest characters. So this is my take on that design. This is not the way the original design looked. Oh, the chairman of Animoca Brands. Okay, so basically my boss's boss. um, I don't talk to too many people with Animoca Brands, so I don't really know everybody there. Um, they are a very large company. I mostly work directly just with the people at Pixel. Um, So yeah, it would be cool for us to see more Animoca brand stuff and people from Animoca brands involved. I know there's a couple people from there that I've talked to. Um, but yeah, I would be happy to meet them sometime. I've never met anybody from the Sandbox in person. I'm in New England, and almost everybody is from like France and Argentina, and then we have some people in well, Animoca brand is out of Hong Kong and stuff. So yeah, I would like to learn more about Animoca brands. I'm only really familiar with them from my work with uh, Sandbox and Pixel. Um, I knew about Pixel before I started here because of their work with the mobile games. I had heard about them before, but as far as their parent company, I was not familiar with them until I really got started here. So I still have a lot to learn about that. So anyway, this guy's the space hero. You may see him. Well, actually, when we start at VoxEdit, he's right there. Um, Sorry, my throat's getting kind of dry. Um, And I thought I saw another question. Choi asked, I wonder what Whale Shark plans to do with his mega estate. I'm not sure. Whale Shark seems like a pretty cool person. I've talked to him a little bit on something. So yeah, this guy right here. You can see this is way more detailed. This was our old style for the avatars. They were going to be huge, like over 200 voxels tall, and they would have been shrunk down to fit on the meter blocks like this. But we went through a lot of like design changes, um, and now we're with this consistent size style, and you can see he got shrunk down. Uh, so I and a couple other people were working on a variety of redesigns. So this one was my take on it. I kind of gave him these. I gave him the big smile mouth that I use for my avatar, and yeah, I should put my avatar in the game. I haven't done that yet. Um, So, anyways, we are talking about plants. We can select them all like that, and we can duplicate that whole thing out and rotate it. They're still way better looking than Minecraft avatars. I mean, Minecraft, gets deserves a lot of credit for like really popularizing voxel art. It didn't invent it, but the way we do stuff with blocks is really inspired by that. So, it was an extremely influential game. And the Minecraft avatars have their charm, but we get to do a lot more cool stuff because we can not just change the colors and textures of the characters. We can do a full modeling of them. So it gives us a lot more possibilities. So if all of these had the plant behavior on them, I would probably start to see some major lag when I go to play the game. But unless the game maker decides to tease me, this should run without any issues after duplicating all this grass. So I wasn't counting. This should be hundreds of pieces now. Hi, Mela, welcome. And let's see how it runs. And yeah, perfectly smooth. So if each one of these had the plant behavior on it, I would see some major slowdown because each one of them would be kind of like sending out a ping for farmers and herbivores to come eat them. So you can walk through it, no problem. Let's play with the camera control real quick because we can do some fun stuff with that. We're gonna put in some more plants. Let's do something interesting. So I want some skeleton remains, and let's see, more plants. There we go. Luck Valor, hi, good to see you again. Hey, how are you? I can now turn on the editor. You didn't know how to turn on, so you've downloaded the editor, but you're not sure how to um, turn it on. So we actually have a new tutorial video, which is out now. Actually, while I've got you all watching, let's pull that up. Uh, so 5 new tutorials just premiered, and I'm going to share the playlist in the chat here. Okay, let me browse over to that. So if you're in the early access and you're not sure how to get into the game maker, this tutorial will help you. we can. It's only like 2 minutes long, so we'll go ahead and watch it. Uh, get over to the Sandbox account here. Oh, I mean, it might make sense from watch video. It is in English. What is it? Do I remember correctly? Is your first language English? Videos here. Um, so JJ, the deal with rare and epic assets. The rarity affects the quantity on the marketplace. So while anybody can add, and this video will explain that a little bit. Well, not this video. One of the other videos in the playlist. I'm going to show you the whole playlist. So the rarity of assets, the assets are actually ownable. So if one person owns it, another person can't own that exact same one. There's not a limit to how many of them you can put on your land. There's just a limit of how many users can own that asset. So I'm just trying to pull up the playlist here. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at the same time, and I'm distracting myself. Let's see, library tutorials. Okay, this is what we want. We're going to view the full playlist and grab that link. Right. So they should all be live now. So here is the playlist. It's for Game Maker Alpha tutorials. So the rarity of the assets means that you have to actually own the asset to publish your game. So while let's just say, for example, filter so you can see the assets. So the sand coin fountain right here. This is a rare asset. There were 100 of them produced, and the number of people who can place this on their lands can only go up to 100. So you can put it, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure as long as you own the asset, you can put it on as many lands as you have. And you can put it as many times on one land as you want. So we can just keep on putting it on. Oh, I got excited. I thought the animation was going to work. There's a glitch right now where it only plays one time, but you can see it in the ghost image that it's that it moves. So I can place this as many times as I want. So you only need to own one in order to do that. But in order for you to publish a game with that asset, you do have to actually own it. Otherwise, it won't publish to the metaverse. Who decides what criteria decides how much an asset is worth? I imagine buying the grass is going to cost money. Well, so the grass is free. This grass is free because it's included with the game maker. So if you have the game maker, you have the grass. So that the base level of creating things is free. For other things that you get from the marketplace, the ones that you have to add to your account, then you will let me answer Left Balor's question in the chat real quick. So just because he can't understand without the translator. So If you want to open the executable and log in with Sandbox account. And so that's actually what the first video is about. GameMaker Alpha. So we'll watch the first one real quick because, like I said, it's only like 2 minutes long. It's 3 minutes. It'll be okay.
Welcome to the Sandbox GameMaker Alpha. This tool will allow you to take assets that you've created in VoxEdit or bought in the marketplace and create games that can be published in the Sandbox metaverse. To get started, you need to have a Sandbox account, which requires an Ethereum wallet. Go to the dashboard at sandbox.game and press the Sign In button. If you don't already have a wallet and a plugin like MetaMask installed in your browser, you can create a new wallet with Bitski. Follow the on-screen prompts to create your Sandbox account. Now, any land, asset, or sand coins you purchase will be stored safely in your wallet. To find the GameMaker download for Windows and Mac OS, visit the dashboard's Play tab. When you launch the GameMaker, it will ask you for the same username and password you just created for the Sandbox dashboard. Note that this is not asking for your wallet login. Once the home screen loads, you can create a new world. The Templates tab has a library of pre-built experiences: the natural lake shores, exotic desert adventure in the bazaar, bustling city of the block, or the behavior tutorial training grounds. Click on one to make a new copy, name it, and have fun modifying and exploring these maps. The templates will occasionally be updated with new features, and more are on their way. If you'd like to create a new blank map, press the Create New button. Name the file and select the default grassy theme or the sandy desert. Select a map size up to 4x4 lands. Each land is 96 by 96 meters and 128 meters from top to bottom. In the game editor, you control the camera by panning with middle click, orbiting with alt left click, rotating with alt right click, and zooming with the scroll wheel. Left click will place assets in blocks, and right click will remove them. More detailed controls are displayed in the hint menu, which is toggled with the H key. To play the game, press the Tab key or click the play button at the top. If you haven't created an avatar,
Hey,
one
Clanker.
will automatically appear. You can move with the WASD keys, sprint by holding Shift, jump with the spacebar, interact with E, punch with left click, and move the camera with your mouse. Pressing Tab will return you to the editor. After you're done editing and playing your experience, remember to press the Save button before returning to the home screen. All of your saved maps will appear in the My Games tab, and recently opened files will be listed on the left side above the Quit button. If you're having difficulty with the dashboard, have questions about setting up a wallet, or need support for the GameMaker, we have a very helpful community and active staff on our Discord channel, which you can find from the bottom right corner of the dashboard. I hope you're getting excited to begin crafting lands in the Sandbox metaverse.
All right. So, thank you. I'm glad you found those that helpful. I did share the Discord up in the chat earlier, so if you scroll up, you should be able to see it. Let me see if I can grab that again. There it's at. Way up at the top. Keep going. There it is. There's Discord link. So yeah, that's the Discord. Bunch of different languages there. If you need help, we've got Italian, Russian, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, Portuguese. I think there are other ones. Okay, hey Strix, I was just talking to you. Was it this morning or last night? I don't know. Time is weird for me. I remember talking to you recently. Uh, so yeah, lots of helpful people on there besides me. Hi, Killer Kitty. How's it going? Um, but yeah, check out those videos. There's 5 videos in that playlist that I linked. So we just watched the first one. The other four videos, the second one talks about the terrain blocks, so building up these blocks on your map. Uh, the third one is about placing assets, so select them from your library when you put them down, how you move them with the gizmos here and the rotate it with the rotate tools. Um, the fourth video is about the basic behaviors, so like what we talked about today with collisions and behaviors and components. It goes over that briefly. And then the fifth one is really about the messaging system or how assets interact. So you can have, if we edit the logic here, the farmer can receive a kill message. So if any asset broadcasts the word kill in a message, the farmer will instantly die. Um, when he dies, he can send out a message. So you could say farmer death or something like that. And maybe an object will appear because of that. There could be a spawner that will spawn something on farmer's death or a door that will open or something. So that fifth video is about creating those interactions between objects. And all of these are really like 101 level, they're basic introductions. I don't go into every single menu and slider and what they all do. Um, for one reason, that's a lot of information to be a really long video. So I tried to make each of these at about 3 minutes at most. They kind of average between 2 and 4 minutes each. So it's a really quick way to get started. A lot of this stuff you can just kind of play around with, figure out what it does. And some of these are going to change. So I wanted the tutorial to last for a long time. I didn't want it to, there to be an update in a couple weeks and then have to redo the tutorial all over again because all the information changed. So these specific sliders and menus and boxes and stuff, they might update with each version to some degree. So I wanted you to be able to kind of figure this part out on your own, and then you'll be ready for when there's changes instead of having like very specific instructions that will have to get updated each time. But we will have more detailed tutorials also. I've got about 5 planned to work on over the next couple of weeks, and they are going to go over creating specific kinds of games. So you'll learn how to set up a platformer like Mario, where you can jump on an enemy's head. I showed that on the stream a long time ago, and long time ago, second ago. Feels like forever ago. So I'll show you how to put together one of your own, including like what messages you need to do, where things need to be placed to do it. We will do things like a storekeeper where you can like sell something, exchange like a coin for an item, things like that. And yes, definitely, JJ, getting into the game maker is the best way to learn because everything that I'm explaining to you now, for the most part, I learned just by playing with the game maker. So that there were a few things that people, explained to me or pointed out to me or questions I had to ask, but for the most part, it was just getting in here and spending hours and hours and hours playing around with it, experimenting, and that's how I learned what I know how to do. Yeah. Well, I want to be able to show people more than just that because, some things are more complicated to understand. I've spent those hundreds of hours in the game maker, so like there's stuff that I figured out that took me that long to figure it out. I don't want, everybody to have to go through that. So I do definitely want to share what I've learned. But also it's good for people to try to figure it out on their own. Because that is really the best way to learn, I think. So, what were we doing in here? We were putting together, I do want to show these though, because they're awesome. I know the animation will probably do stuff. We took a look at those last time, but we didn't put them in the game here. And let's see, we want more plants. That's what we're looking for. Gamers do love a challenge. Speaking of challenges, we do want to start having game jams. So now that not everybody, but now that a lot of people have access to the game maker, we want to start making some events focused around that. So keep an eye out on the forum. and on Twitter for Game Jam announcements, because those might be coming up in the near future. Oh yeah, yeah. Both the Game Maker Fund and the Creator Fund still have a lot of space for people to join. We just added about 10 new members to the Creator Fund this past month. Um, and there's still tons more space for that. The Game Maker Fund also, there's still a lot of space available for applications. When there's no more room for applications, the applications will come down. They'll be removed. You know, if you see the application, apply, because you definitely want to try to get it. Um, let's see, we want small animal. Okay, a squirrel. What do you do in the Game Maker Fund? Um, the so the Game Maker Fund is very different from the Creator Fund because the Creator Fund is like uh, making all the assets that you see that we do, or that we're using here, um, and that you see on the marketplace. So that's kind of like a freelance artist position. Um, the Game Maker Fund is like a grant. So if you are awarded to work in the Game Maker Fund, you get a grant of land, and they will set a budget to pay you to make a game. So uh, it's basically, if you like ignore all of like what the sandbox is and all the things around it, it's basically like you're pitching a game to a game publisher, and the game publisher is paying you to make the game. Just in this case, the sandbox is like providing the software and the ecosystem and the marketing and everything around the game to allow it to happen. So if you go to gamefund.sandbox.game, that will give you all the information you need to apply. Um, and basically, you give a game pitch, and see how they like it. Killer Kitty says, I have a small programmer version of me that I think will like watching your videos. Are you planning for every Wednesday? Yes, we're planning for every Wednesday and every Saturday. We've been doing every Saturday for a while. I did take a vacation, so we didn't have Saturday for, uh, well, we only missed one Saturday, but we missed 2 Wednesdays. Or I guess it was Tuesdays then, but we've switched over to Wednesdays. um, so the plan is for every Wednesday. The Wednesday stream might adjust depending on schedule. Um, we would like to try to get more viewers, and Wednesdays are not necessarily the busiest day. So we'll see. Um, yes, you want to have your pitch ready before you apply, because the pitch is part of the application. If you go ahead and look at the application, and that will give you an idea of what they're doing in that. So my application was fairly detailed. I mentioned games that I was inspired by that I would like to base. Oops, not place. Uh, that works. Um, or do you pitch a concept? I mean, you can pitch a concept, or you can pitch a specific game. So like I had a title and like game levels, and like my pitch was very detailed. Um, that but you can also pitch something more of like a concept. I'm not involved in the review process for game pitches, so I don't know all of their criteria, um, how they select. But I would say if you don't hear back or your pitch is rejected, you can pitch more than one game because the grant is per pitch. So you're not restricted to pitching one thing. You can keep applying with different pitches. So kind of like throw things at the wall and see if they stick. Don't spam it, obviously, but uh, it's not like you got one shot and then it's over kind of thing. Oh no, Choina. I like seeing your name every week. Are you going to be able to join on Wednesdays, or is this it? Is this goodbye forever? So we're actually going to make the squirrely avatar. I don't know how well the animations will work because it's not designed specifically to be an avatar, but it should sort of work. And we're actually going to move our camera down. And we'll see how that looks. It's a little bit close. That kind of works, yeah. Tail gets in the way a little bit. And oh, I forgot to move this back over after we were done with the video. I didn't want to hide what the video was talking about. Clinker asks if you already have land, can you build the game you want to make on your land? So right now, what we're doing is not connected lands. Bacon and eggs. That sounds pretty good. Scroll jump is a little high. I had leftover pizza for breakfast. I woke up kind of late. I was working pretty late last night, and I woke up just an hour before stream time. So I just shoved some cold pizza in my face and coffee. Mondays, Tuesdays off. That's an interesting schedule. Well, have a good breakfast, Killer Kitty, and our schedule might change in the future, Joanna. I'm sorry that you're gonna miss the streams. Um, we do of course have the replays available, so they'll always be there later on Twitch and YouTube for you to check out afterwards. Um, and yeah, I hope you get a chance to join us again. I don't know if the schedule may change again in the future. Saturdays are really kind of my thing. Like nobody's really like pushing for Saturdays. I just enjoy doing this, and Saturday is one more day that I can do it. Did I knock her over? I forgot she had physics on. We're just going to you know, go away. Yes, the flying. What happened? Oh, that's right. We turned on physics and the animal behavior, and somehow bumping into it just sent it jumping all over the place. All right. Well, if are you leaving now, Choina, or that was just Killer Kitty leaving? Your last message made it sound like you were signing off before we were done. Although we've only got 6 minutes left. Wow, today went fast. So yeah, right there. I just wanted to drown all the humans is a good game you've made. Well, right now you can't drown yet. I could make the water damage her though. She could die in there if I wanted, but I'm not going to do that right now. Somebody else had a question. What was that? Was there? Oh, Clinker. About building on your lands. Okay, sorry, I lost track of your question. Um, so the lands are you don't actually build on a land yet. Right now, this is all locally hosted on my computer. It's not possible to publish this to a map right now. That feature hasn't been turned on yet. So I do own land, but I can't publish game experiences to it. Eventually, you'll be able to upload this to the map, but you don't have to own land to build. So you can if you're watching the video that I shared earlier, which is that YouTube playlist linked in the chat. Um, if You can create up to a 4x4 land. So I don't even own a 4x4 land, but I could make one in the game maker. Uh, in order to upload it to the metaverse for everybody to play, I would need to actually own an estate to put that on. You can share these games. They're saved on your computer as a single file. So as long as all of the assets are published on the marketplace, um, as in like other people can access them. So like for example, these arcade machines are published assets. You can see the animation here. Um, Unfortunately, the animation doesn't loop as soon as I hit them down, but um, so because these are published on the marketplace and have been approved for publication, they can be put into any game um, for testing. So even if, say, this was a legendary item and there was only one of these arcade machines, um, still anybody would be able to put it on their land and play with it. In order for you to publish a game to the map, you do have to own the actual land. The squirrel was attacking the arcade machine. um, so there's a lot that you can do without buying anything. You can build a game, you can use whatever assets you want to build the game, you can share the game with your friends. But if you want this on the metaverse where more people will see it and be able to access it from the game map, and if you want things like multiplayer and multiple game instancing and teleporting to other lands, features like that are all going to require you to own the land, own the assets, and publish the game to the land. So I hope that all made sense. Um, and let's go even smaller. So we're going to find our squirrel here. So the real reason I wanted to do all this was we were going to shrink the camera way down. So we are going to say first person camera, and we're going to edit. Can we edit the camera height from first person? Okay, I forgot. You do have to have a third person camera to change the. Oh no, you can do it right there. Cam altitude 0. Let's see how this works. The Okay, cool. So we do actually want the camera to be lower though. So we're gonna turn off. Whoops. We're gonna turn off visibility so we don't see at the top of our squirrel head. And we're gonna edit the logic and we're gonna lower the camera to negative. Wait, 2. That I think will do it. We can go even lower. So will land end up only being owned by large game developers due to its price being so high? Well, it's already owned by a bunch of individuals. So right now each land is only, um, I think about $40 at the pre-sale price, and it'll be something like $50 at the final price. I don't have the exact number in front of me. So it's about the price of a full game right now. So if you want to buy a land, I would say buy a land as soon as you can. Um, it will eventually run out. Uh, we will see, what happens in the future. So, we would like to keep the plan the way it is right now and keep everybody's, investment in what they've already bought, make sense for the future. And we want to make sure that everybody's happy with their investment. So, it's not like somebody asked and asked me anything if there's going to be like new planets, more lands and stuff like that. And there's no plan for that in the near future. Um, but this is there's the possibility for another Sandbox 4 or whatever in the future. um we'll see what happens in 10 years. So um
If the game you use to enter for the fund is the game you want to publish on your land, will you lose the rights to that because you have been using the sandbox funding? So you maintain rights over what you create. Everything that you make for the sandbox, you keep the rights to. So if you create your own characters, your own IP, your own game title, you maintain ownership of all that. There should be terms mentioned in the Game Maker Fund, but basically the uh, the Sandbox is trying to be an incubator for creators. So we're trying to boost voxel artists and boost game creators and give them opportunities to create what they want to make without taking ownership of all their ideas. Um, if so, like for me, I started in the Creator Fund and I went into the Game Maker Fund, and now I'm actually staff because of how involved I've gotten and stuff. That stuff that I do could be for the sandbox and only for the sandbox, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm still allowed to make my own projects and stuff that I would maintain ownership of. Um, and basically anybody else who's not staff, like they maintain ownership of all their stuff unless they make some sort of agreement not to. Hi, Enrico. Welcome. Enrico's one of our new Creator Fund artists. If the sandbox has millions of users, won't the land just be a ridiculous price? Well, I think not everybody who wants to play the sandbox is going to want to own land. I think there's probably going to be, I doubt that there are going to be millions of creators. It's possible, but I don't think that there will be millions of creators. There will hopefully be millions and millions of players, and players will still be able to create stuff. They might just not be able to publish it on a metaverse map. I mean, in the future, when individuals sell their land, oh, and then yeah, people are already selling it at ridiculous prices. Uh, people have been selling like a single land for a whole ether when at pre-sale prices, what ether will buy like almost an entire 3x3 plot. So, that's there's gonna be demand and there's gonna be price fluctuations, stuff like that. That's part of having a marketplace. You own a 3x3 land and two joint lands. Yep, that's I think I own two 3x3s. One's an actual estate and one's just a 3x3 section that I was able to buy completely. That eventually I can make into an estate, and I have a couple other scattered lands that got the different pre-sales. There's a land sale on the 30th. Yes, there is. There's a moon sale on there's 30th or 29th. I thought it was the 29th. We'll double check that before we leave. So we're almost we're wrapping up here. May have to create more land to stop inflation. That's not planned. I mean, the sandbox owns a large reserve of land, so they're going to be able to kind of trickle out those as they see needed to kind of adjust market value to just keep things kind of regulated. Plus, there's plenty of ways to win land. So there's lots of opportunities to either get land through grants or to win it as a prize. And there will probably always be people who either decide that they're not interested anymore and want to sell it off, or who thought they could do certain things with it and realize they can't. I guess that'd be the same thing as not being interested anymore. So I think there will always be people selling off land at a reasonable price. So you'll have to find it quickly before somebody else grabs it. Is there a way to make a museum showroom to display NFT art? Yes. It's not enabled yet for linking, but you can add images. So there's specific frames. I don't know, it's under decoration. It might not have a category. So we go frame. So there's a component that only shows up for these. And it's image display. So this image display component doesn't show up with anybody else. And you can make images. So right now there's just a few that are already preloaded into it. And
layers. And so you can make that appear or disappear with different things. Why can't I make this roll? Maybe because it's the avatar. Oh, there we go. No, for some reason it didn't work before. See the squirrel's body. There you go. So eventually you'll be able to link images and NFTs in there. So you could sell ad space if you wanted. You could display artwork. You can show off your crypto kitties or whatever that they want to make this a very interoperable item. So there will be lots of different things that you can display in there. Okay, thanks, Joyna. Yeah, for some, I don't know why I thought it was only in 2 days instead of 3 days. Yeah, I'll remind everybody about this at the end. TV with video clip. Yeah, that should be possible too. There's going to be lots more stuff that you're going to be able to do with displaying NFT videos and images and all sorts of stuff. My scroll became visible again. So we're going to lower this camera even lower. I don't want to go through the floor. See, this might be too low. Let's see where this puts us. I think we can go. Right. Oh, I forgot to make the scroll with this. For some reason, it's not saving it. I don't know. Something like that. It at least works. So you could do like anti view games. We didn't change the size or scale of anything. We just moved the camera really super low. Which game did we get? Oh, hello. Okay. So yeah, it would be better if I could show scroll. I think be able to see what's going on a little bit better, but so yeah, without changing the size of anything, we made everything look really huge just by placing the arm in it. Probably would go. Let's try -0.06. Oh, level. Not that. Right, that would actually be higher than I had. Visible score. So yeah, to make a game where you plays ants. I've actually been wanting to do that. I've wanted to make like an RPG where your ants invading this, and yeah, you can't lift the point. This camera's a little bit too low to flips through the ground. Another thing that you would want to do in this situation is probably lower the speed. A predator chasing your head. That would be terrifying, probably. So we lower the speeds and the jump force. Scroll visible. And now it's not quite so blindingly fast as you run through. Yeah. That and now I can't jump up there because I can't jump in. That's stone. Can't jump far enough. That's okay. So do the graphics from Lava use a lot of CPU power? Draft? No. That's old murder. You don't do that. So the lava and the water are the same, basically. So that the only difference is that the lava's glowing, but the glow doesn't really have that big of an impact. Processing power. The lava really shouldn't do anything with the CPU. Back. We're gonna set. Switch the avatar over her. Let's scroll back. Yeah. So the animation on these is just a function of a block, and it's just scroll texture on it. The glow is not that big of a difference. See inside. And you also get color tints. So cool thing with this, that this coloring is all automatic. So if you used a green color, you can make like a swamp water that when you're down inside of it, everything have a green look to it. Yes, that's correct, Joyner. I didn't see Alex's message. Oh, up there, yeah. Yes, Alexis, you do have to join at Twitch. I'll put it in the chat. Twitch.tv/the Sandbox game. Because our giveaway tool only works Twitch. Yes, sun comes through the windows. Yeah, so the shading in this is really nice. There's been a lot of improvements made to the lighting, and it looks really nice now. So we do have self-casting shadows. So you'll notice you can see as the arm moves, the shadow of the arm on the body changes. And there's like the shadow of the hair behind the neck. You can see one leg. You can see the leg on the left side, her right, is casting a shadow on the other leg. And the shadows are fully animated. So the shadow is all real time. I don't have an RTX card. I just have a GTX. So it's all real time, like casting. It's not, there's not crazy like light bounces or anything insane like that. Let's go back. That's what you get for an asshole. Can I surf on it? Ooh, a little bit. Let's go scroll surfing. So yeah, the shadow casting in this is very nice. And you do get shadows cast through clear mediums also. So the transparency is a function of the blocks. And there's a video that is not published yet. There's a tutorial about uploading assets to the marketplace. I'm not sure why that's not up on the Sandbox channel yet. I will check into that sometime in the next week. I think that should be up. And it will also be up on my YouTube channel, which is Voxelize. And it goes over how to upload assets to the marketplace, whether they're animated, static, or a block. And the blocks, you can set the animation and transparency. So anytime there's two features with blocks. They can be a fluid, and if they're a fluid, they automatically get this scrolling animation, and you can walk through them. So the lava and the water, you will always be able to walk through, and they will always be animated, just as a function of them being a fluid. And then there's a second option, which is a transparency slider, and you can go from 100% clear, which is totally invisible block, which I'm not entirely sure how you use that. I guess you could use that to make invisible walls, which actually that could be useful, but it'd be really hard to use in the editor, I think. I foresee problems when trying to use that block. So you could do a 100% clear one if you want to make invisible walls, or you can make it almost totally clear. So the water, I think, is like 25% or so, and I think you can actually go even more clear, like 5 or 10%. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. They do snap. So the lava is not clear at all, and the water is fairly clear, and you can go in between that levels. So it would be cool to do like a swamp water block, which would be less clear than water, and then be like a real green brown hue, and you would see that coloring automatically when the camera goes inside. So basically, all you do is you draw the sides of the block, and then put your settings in the marketplace, and all the rest of this is automatically taken care of for you. And then damage is set per character. So lava to damage them, you have to have the health component, and then you can add damaging blocks. You can add multiple damaging blocks. So you type in lava, and you can type in water, which are just the names of the blocks, and then water will start to hurt. All right, so we're going a little bit long here. Were there any other questions? Let's see. When you spawn lava, can you make it spawn left to right, or front to back, or right to left? Not yet. So there is that block spawner behavior, which if you watched the Wednesday's streams, I guess we didn't really show it last Wednesday. We briefly showed it, but we didn't really talk about it. If you look back at the previous streams a couple weeks ago, there was one that I did where we talked about the maze dungeon. It was actually the second time. So we've shown the maze dungeon, I think, 3 streams. So it was the second time that we showed it, where I made the lava spawner really advanced, and I showed exactly how I did it. It's kind of complicated to get it to work right. The lava works first bottom to top. Well, not just lava, there's any block that you spawn. So you get the block spawner, and you can set the delay between how frequently the blocks spawn, when they start to spawn, if they receive a message, or if they start at the beginning of the game, and then what blocks spawn. And when you set that area, which you have to edit logic, so this green area is the area that the blocks will spawn in. They will first start at the bottom layer and work their way to the top. The second thing is that they will start in the northeast corner, and they will work their way forwards to the south, and then it'll go to the next row, and then it'll go to the next row, and then it'll go to the next row, and then it goes up a level, and then it just keeps on going from bottom to top, north to south, east to west, in that order. So it'll fill this one, it'll fill that corner first, and it'll fill that corner last. And then any blocks that are in the way, it just skips over those. It goes to the next empty airspace. So right now, there's no way to control that. I don't know if it's going to be in the next version, but the plan is that it'll be more like Minecraft physics in the future, where you can place a single block and then it'll like spread out, kind of the way it does in Minecraft, and have like waterfalls and pools and stuff like that. Work automatically, kind of with physics, like not like physics, but like the procedural, the way it works in Minecraft, basically. When an asset you made gets traded, do you get a cut of the transaction? So no, you get of it. You do not get a cut of your assets on the marketplace. You get all of your assets on the marketplace. The way it works is there's a minting fee. So if you publish something to the marketplace, there is a fee, which I don't know the exact price of it. I've seen, it looks like it's something like between like 25 cents and $1. There are options in there. So if changing things like the rarity and putting like gems and stuff on it, that might affect how much the minting costs. So actually, I think we already talked about rarity. So there will be another video coming up soon that's going to talk more about asset rarity and gems and catalysts and how those all work together. I'm going to see if I could find out pricing for that stuff when I do that video, so people have a better idea of how much it'll cost to do these things. But basically, for the most part, if you sell like 1 or 2 of your assets, I think that would usually cover the minting cost. because the minting is not very expensive and it's usually a couple dollars for an asset. So this is really like a profitable enterprise, if you will, for artists. This gives a lot of power to the artists to share their work and make some money from it. So when somebody buys your asset, the money automatically goes to your Ethereum wallet that you have connected to the store. I did have an asset that sent the fountain that we're giving away right now. I did have those for sale on second pre-sale. And every time somebody bought one, a few minutes later, I had Ethereum from that. So it's a very fast process. Comic book scenes would go well too. I think that was related to something specific I said, and I'm not sure exactly when you made that comment. Maybe on the frames, the image frames. I'm not sure. But you could share comic book images if you wanted to publish them in a way through a game. It's a shame the spawner can't be rotated. You know, now that you said that, I don't think it can. But now that you said that, it's making me wonder. So I guess I'm gonna have to test that because I don't think I tried that. I think I just saw the way that it went and I didn't try to move it around. So now you got me curious. But I'm pretty sure I did test that because I was trying to set up the lava to go a certain way in that maze game. And I couldn't get it to go the way that I wanted. So now I'm really wondering if I actually tested that or not. I'm having some existential dread right now. Thank you very much, Clackers. I will try that. I don't think it works. I'll try that. Next time we'll see if that works or not. So I hope I got to everybody's question. I don't think I missed any, but if I did miss any, you're always welcome to message me on Discord or ask them in the Sandbox server channel and try to get some answers. You say that. Why not? I don't know if we'll go back to this land or not, but we'll keep it for later. So let's go ahead and end the giveaway. Last chance. Make sure you're on twitch.tv/the Sandbox game and type !fountain. If you see your name up in this list, then you are entered into the giveaway. And we're giving away a sand fountain NFT. And we are ending it now. All right, and Cobalt Voxel 1. Cobalt Voxel's name, actually, that name sounds familiar. You're in the comments right now, aren't you? Informed? I think I remember seeing that name. So Cobalt Voxel. Let's see here. Let's pull up your asset. I know we looked at it before, but there's some people here who there earlier. Did I skip over the link? Yeah, I was looking right at it. All right, which one are you? There we go. This is a Cobalt Voxel centric to the contest. So make sure you go to forum.sandbox.game. Enter the contest if you want to try to recreate any of the Sandbox Evolution assets, and make sure you vote. I think you get 3 votes, and this is Cobalt Voxels up here. So congratulations. I will message you directly on the Twitch Whispers, and if you have a hard time using that, I know Whispers don't always work for everybody. Make sure to find me on Discord. It's at Kamisazi, although on the Sandbox server it just says at Alex. So yeah, look for my name. You'll usually find me on the support chats. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you got some good info and had fun. I know I always have fun doing this. And I will see some of you on Wednesday. And hopefully see the rest of you back on Saturday. And I'm sorry you're gonna not be around, join up, but it's been fun, and I hope you get the chance to come back soon. All right, everybody have a good